We're back in North Texas for our third tour of the Fort Worth Zoo. Almost exactly a year ago, we explored the African savanna, the first phase of the zoo's Wilder Vision Masterplan. And today, we're continuing with Phase 2. Completed 3 years after the African savanna, Elephant Springs opened in April of 2021. The zoo spent $32 million to upgrade their Asian elephants to a state-of-the-art home. That nearly tripled the space provided by their former habitat and allowed Fort Worth to continue their breeding efforts and successfully care for a multi-generational herd. After you complete the African savanna loop, the entrance to Elephant Springs is waiting right there to greet you. Immediately to the right is a short side path that leads to the elephant demonstration area, where public training sessions are held twice daily, which you should definitely check out, even if I failed to see one on my 2 visits. Quickly backtracking to the main path, the Elephant Springs main viewing is a single long boardwalk, authentically themed as a Southeast Asian fishing village, that offers a beautiful panoramic view of the 2 public elephant yards. The right side habitat, which can also be viewed from over by the demonstration area, offers the elephants a bit more privacy, while the left habitat has more open viewing along the length of the boardwalk. The 2 habitats appear to be connected at all times via the 400,000-gallon river that runs along the front of the boardwalk, but the exhibits can in fact be connected not only to each other, but to 3 additional behind-the-scenes yards, as well as the elephants' climate-controlled barn, allowing these giants increased control over where they want to spend their time. The Elephant Springs is currently home to 9 Asian elephants, 4 males and 5 females. There's 2 adult bulls, Colonel and Romeo, who I didn't get any footage of. The zoo's oldest elephant is Rasha, who was born in the wild in 1971 and has spent her last 30 years at the Fort Worth Zoo. Her daughters Bluebonnet and Bluebell, both born here in Fort Worth in 1998 and 2013 respectively, and who have both since become mothers themselves. The final adult female is 37-year-old Angel, another longtime resident in Fort Worth. Of course, the biggest crowd pleasers are always the youngsters. Just 6 months after the Elephant Springs opening, the zoo celebrated the birth of Brazos, born to Bluebonnet and Romeo. His birth marked the start of the 3rd generation in Fort Worth's elephant family. In 2024, Brazos made history as the first Asian elephant to receive the newly developed EEHV vaccine without having existing antibodies. Elephant calves are born with EEHV antibodies from their mother, but these antibodies disappear over time, making young elephants very susceptible to this deadly disease, which makes Brazos' participation in the groundbreaking EEHV vaccine trials a huge deal, and another step towards addressing the risk posed by the disease to young elephants. But Brazos isn't the only big baby making a big commotion around here. In March 2023, the herd welcomed Travis, the first calf for mother Bluebell, also sired by Romeo. And just in time to make it into the script for this video, the zoo announced that Bluebonnet welcomed her 3rd calf and first female calf on August 18th, 2025. Though they were separate at the time of my visits, the zoo has recently shared that Travis and Brazos are spending time playing together as they grow and learn how to be bull elephants. Young male elephants typically leave their herd between the ages of 8 and 13, often grouping together in bachelor herds, something we'll learn more about on another upcoming tour. Interestingly, both male and female elephants mature faster in human care, believed to be in part from the more consistent nutrition, and for males the lack of suppression from older bulls. A wild bull elephant is unlikely to sire offspring until they are in their 30s. Unsurprisingly, given their size, Asian elephants, alongside their African cousins, have the longest gestation period among mammals at 22 months, after which the calf is born already weighing over 200 pounds. The Elephant Springs doesn't end with the elephants. Instead, the Elephant River flows up into a more modest pool, which is your first opportunity to encounter the greater one-horned or Indian rhinoceros. As you can see, Indian rhinos are more at home in the water than their African counterparts and often spend the hottest part of the day wallowing in rivers. They are adept swimmers and will even dive underwater and feed on aquatic plants. In addition to these plants, Indian rhinos use their dexterous prehensile lips to gather in the hundreds of pounds of grasses, leaves, branches, and fruit that they feed on every day. Past the pool, the path climbs as the Elephant Springs merges with the adjacent predators of Asia and Africa. You're offered multiple views of the first rhino yard, and across from the highest overlook is a second rhino yard. The Elephant Springs opened with Parvesh, a now 11-year-old male who was born at the San Diego Zoo Safari Park. In 2022, he was joined by Asha, the first and only Indian rhino ever born at the Fort Worth Zoo back in 2012. She also spent time in San Diego, but at the zoo rather than the safari park, before returning home to hopefully be Parvesh's mate. Today, Indian rhino populations are increasing and relatively stable compared to the other two Asian rhino species, but that wasn't always the case. As recently as the early 2000s, the species numbered in the hundreds in India. In 2005, the country introduced Indian Rhino Vision 2020, a bold initiative to increase the species population to 3,000 by the year 2020 through expanding their range in protected areas that had been identified as being able to support population growth. Though they didn't quite hit that goal, India's rhino population was over 4,000 by 2024, and a new initiative, Indian Rhino Vision 2.0, plans to increase their numbers to between 4,500 and 5,000 by 2030. The Elephant Spring signifies the Fort Worth Zoo's dedication to long-term management and conservation of elephants, and perhaps most important of all, providing an opportunity for the public to observe and be inspired by elephants so that they will want to preserve them as well. Which is why the complex was well deserving when it won the 2022 Thea Award for Outstanding Achievement, awarded by the Themed Entertainment Association, given to projects or individuals that exemplify excellence, innovation, and leadership in the creation of compelling places and experiences. When we return to Fort Worth again, we'll walk through the third and most recently completed phase of their Wilder Vision.